everybody, what's going on? And welcome to Guns N' Roses Central. And we got some big Guns N' Roses news, then we have a bunch of minor Guns N' Roses news. So I want to first start with the big news. I want to thank one of my subscribers who actually told me that Steven Adler was going to be on Eddie Trunk's show today. So Eddie Trunk's got a show on Sirius XM Radio, and Steven Adler called into the show and they had a chat. So I listened to the interview. I didn't see anybody post it on YouTube yet, but I've listened to it and I've summarized it, so I'm going to give you guys the Cliff Notes version of it. There was a lot of stuff they talked about. The interview was kind of broken up into two parts. The first part was about Guns N' Roses and their reunion, and the second part was more about his mom's book and some side stuff Steven's doing. And this isn't the order of the interview, so I just wrote down some of the cool stuff he said. So apparently, if you guys watched that metal show, there was an episode where Steven Adler popped out of a cake for Eddie Trunk. I never saw that episode. Steven also revealed that he was supposed to be on the same bowling team as Eddie Trunk, but he couldn't play since he went to Argentina to play with Guns N' Roses last year. Now, this one was probably one of the more interesting points Steven revealed. He said during the shows that he actually played one or two songs as part of the reunion tour, he only saw Axl for a total of 10 seconds. So it was more like hi and bye. So basically, he saw Axl, gave him a hug, told Axl he was awesome, and loved him, and that was basically it. Axl disappeared and went wherever he goes. So it's not like they hung out or anything like that. He also said that Frank, who's their current drummer, is a wonderful guy and a great drummer. He did say he was really disappointed to be standing on the side of the stage watching the guys play the songs. He was also disappointed flying 15,000 miles or so to Argentina just to play one song. And as you guys know, Steven, after that same gig in Argentina, or those gigs, he put on a private show at the Roxy in Argentina where he played a 3-hour show. And he revealed that he first got involved with the Guns N' Roses reunion in early January. He said January 2nd, 2016, Slash and Duff both texted Steven and said they wanted to get together and talk to him about something. So he said Steven basically said he went over to Duff's house and Duff had him sign a contract just so they could talk about the reunion. And then he said in March, he came down to rehearsal with Duff and Slash. He said Richard wasn't there, or Melissa wasn't there either. It was just the three of them. And he said the second rehearsal, he got a pinched nerve in his lower back, and he was out for about 10 days. And then, come April, the time of the Troubadour show, he was ready to go, but Duff told him he's not going to be part of the show. And he basically told Duff that he hated him, and he basically hung up the phone on Duff. But then he later called Duff to apologize. Now, this one was also interesting. He said literally a day before the Cincinnati show where Steven Adler made his first appearance as part of the reunion tour, Duff called him to be part of the show. So a day before the Cincinnati show, Steven got a call and basically was asked, hey, can you come make the Cincinnati show and Nashville shows? So it's not like this was planned for a very long period of time. It was literally a day before, and Steven got on a plane and flew to those cities. He also said basically his experience wasn't what he was expecting it to be. He said it's not the same as it was 25 years ago, and he said not having Izzy is a big part of that. And he said that only playing 1 to 2 songs was a bit hurtful and heartbreaking for him. He said Richard Fortus is a great guitar player, and he thinks Richard looks a lot like Izzy. He also revealed that he was offered to basically play either in Australia, Japan, or Thailand as part of the tour that Guns N' Roses has been on in 2017, but he refused to show up because he didn't want to fly that whole distance only to play 1 or 2 songs. He also said that he got paid a couple bucks from the GNR camp, and he said that Fernando was covering that. He also said that Fernando's a good dude and that he hopes Fernando has something in store for the Guns N' Roses 30th anniversary of Appetite. He also said he asked the guys in the band why he couldn't play more songs than just 1 or 2 per night, and he didn't really elaborate on what their response was. He did say that when he was on stage with the Guns N' Roses guys, he tried to play a third song, which was Rocket Queen, but they basically turned the power off on him. He also revealed that he spoke to Izzy, and he regularly speaks to Izzy. He said Izzy hasn't been involved in the reunion because he wants to do it the right way with the 5 original guys or not do it at all. He also said Izzy is the greatest guy he's ever met and still in touch with him, and he said he'll ask Izzy to come on the Eddie Trunk show, although he hinted that it's probably not a very good chance it's going to happen. He also said he wouldn't rule out sharing the stage with Guns N' Roses once again, provided it's done right. He said he wouldn't mind sharing the stage with Frank, but he wants to play more songs. So he said he wants to play all the Appetite songs, the Lie songs, and maybe some of the Illusion songs. He also revealed that he doesn't really care that much for the Chinese Democracy songs. And he said he wanted to push Frank down the flight of stairs one night so he could play the whole show, but he said he couldn't do it because Frank is such a great guy. He also revealed that stage manager Tom Mayhew, who's been with Guns N' Roses for ages, was basically the guy who assigned My Michelle and Out to Get Me to Steven. So it was his idea to have Steven play those songs. He said he only rehearsed with the band at the 2 original rehearsals in March and really didn't rehearse with them again, although there is video of him in Nashville at the rehearsal. He said the only time he had interaction with Melissa Reese and Richard Fortus was when they were on stage together. And he said the reason Melissa and Richard fit in is because Axel doesn't want to be bothered and see anybody. And he said Melissa and Richard are really quiet people and they disappear really easily. So he said he'd be seeing them one moment, saying hi, and then the next minute they'd be out of the room. He also said that Dave Grohl is a god and the coolest guy as far as he's concerned. And Eddie Trunk said he's going to have Steven Adler back on the show perhaps in May because Eddie's going to be going to LA to do his show. And he wants Steven to sit in on the whole show to talk about Guns N' Roses and, of course, Kiss. And then Steven requested at the end of the interview that Back in Black be played, but he said there's a Bon Scott version of Back in Black available on iTunes. So Steven and Eddie were playfully arguing back and forth over whether it was legit or not. So that's basically the summary of the Steven Adler interview. Once it goes live and somebody actually posts it on YouTube, I will let you guys know. But that's basically everything he had to talk about. He plugged his mom's book a bit as well, but he really stressed that he doesn't have any bitterness and he got closure. He said that was really important for him and he feels a lot better. Now, I think it's important to note that he said that the reason Izzy isn't part of the reunion is because he wants to do it right with the 5 original guys. And that may be part of the reason, but as you guys know, Izzy came out and said the reason he's not involved is because the other 3, meaning Axel, Slash, and Duff, did not want to split the loot equally. So I'm sure money is also part of the equation too, but Steven didn't really talk a whole lot about money. So, I mean, there's a lot that can happen between now and May. I don't think we're going to get any more information on Steven's involvement in the reunion, but if he does appear on Eddie's show, it's going to be a couple months before the Appetite 30th anniversary, so we'll have to wait and see if Fernando's got something planned. But that basically did it for the interview, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe for the latest Guns N' Roses news, and be sure to follow me on Facebook and Twitter. The links to my social media are down below. Take care.